These are the wheels of a killer, Bella. It's starting to feel like we can't trust credit card companies. Who's ready for fresh propane and propane accessories? Surprising everyone, it turns out James Gunn likes his own ideas better than anyone else's. All this and more on Cutting Edge Hero Live. Welcome to Cutting Edge Hero! I am the Nerd King, Danny Stewart, your host for this and most episodes of Cutting Edge Hero. Made myself cough. I am joined today in the studio by my lovely hosts, or my lovely co-hosts, my good friend, Jen. Jen, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm not saying any sexually inappropriate innuendo about my co-hosts, at least not during this intro.
Poor Landon.
Speaking of, I'm also joined by my longest reigning co-host and the guy who's been through it all with me, Landon Felter. Landon, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine tonight.
Damn right you are. Also sitting next to me, as his name implies, the squirreliest squirrel. Aw, I'm even worse. The one and only Joe Stewart.
Hello out there, everybody.
And then over in the technical director chair, our technical director extraordinaire, Randy Tapley. Randy, how are we doing?
Doing good.
Hey, Randy, there's no space between nerd and king in my name. It's one word.
There is now.
But the capital K is still correct. Nerd, no space, king. Perfect. Thank you. We have got a hell of a show for you guys today. We are going to be talking about some of, but not all the news in the bullet points. Then in the three cuts, I'm going to give you guys my spoilerific review of the Fantastic Four movie. And then we will be doing a new segment that Jen will be leading for us called Loose Ends, where we are going to discuss cliffhangers and plot holes from shows that have left us feeling unresolved, and why that is, and perhaps even how we would fix that. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about the nerdiest things we've done this week. Jen, what is the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
Gosh, I've just been playing a lot of video games. I've been playing 7 Days to Die like almost every night, and then catching up on, Dan to Dan, caught up with the latest episode where they kind of ended their fight with Evil Eye, and then this summer Hikaru died, catching up on that too. So
yeah, that sounds great. Landy, what's the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
The nerdiest thing I've done this week is that I finally finished up some editing on a project. What editing? So stick till the end to find out.
Okay, fantastic. Joey, what is the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
Pretty much filling out my anime queue on Crunchyroll, so I have new series to watch because I kind of watched everything I wanted to see so far. So.
Fantastic. Randy, what's the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
I have been playing RuneScape, if you can believe it. They came out with a new expansion, Varlamore, The Final Dawn, and I have been fighting, mostly unsuccessfully, a big old demon bug named the Doom of a Macchiato.
As much as we all love RuneScape, that is incredibly interesting, and I hate to move on from it, but I'm going to. I have been playing Diablo 4, and when you ask what have I been playing in Diablo 4, have I been doing missions? Have I been playing the main story? Have I been leveling my character or grinding or looking for better loot or weapons? No, none of that. I just had to open the map up. It was driving me nuts that I couldn't see every piece of the map, and it took me about 2 days about 8 hours a pop to run across this entire map on my horse and open it up. The map for for Diablo 4 is massive. And so I put a lot of time into that. Now, that was the only thing I was trying to do, but I accidentally, whilst on this journey, leveled my character to the max of 60 and then moved around to the Paragon levels and have found some of the best armor in the game on accident.
Oops.
That's the best way to find things.
Yeah. Oopsie.
By accident.
Oops, my
That
bad.
just made this game a whole lot easier.
Yeah. I do have, we have CJ from Nightmares and Nerdscapes in the comments, as well as Billy Rhodes. He said, yo, pervy sages, where's the sexy jutsu at? You're looking at it, my guy. And then he also said, Danny, I have a gift for you, but I'm currently working, so you're going to have to wait like 6 weeks for it. I'm fine, dude. I'm excited, but I know that if you're giving it to me, it'll be worth the wait. So I will gird my loins and wait appropriately.
Gird them. Nightmare Nerdscape also says, nerdiest thing, I purchased Tales of the Shire. That is that a game?
It's a
or is
game,
that
I
like
believe.
Okay. I was gonna say, I thought it was like maybe a board game.
CJ also said Danny has my kind of OCD. Yeah, it was like, I don't know. There's a lot of fun stuff in the game. The cinematics are great. And I should have wanted to dive further into the quests and such, but I was like, man, not being able to see this whole map is pissing me off. So I also started a game that they dropped free on PS Plus called Fist. It's about a giant bunny with a robotic fist on his back, or not. It's about a regular sized bunny with a giant robotic fist on his back. It's a platformer, and it is a ton of fun. I've already dumped way too many hours into it as well. But
Steam isn't going to let you have that game for very long.
Really?
With a name like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
You're
right.
I think that's on my wish list.
We'll
But
take it off the list.
CJ has played it. He says Fist is amazing. It is. It's very good. The graphics are incredible, and it's just a fun platformer with some great mechanics. But anyway, now that we have gotten that out of the way, Landon, you want to talk about some news?
Always.
Randy, why don't you fire those bullet points? Points. We are talking about some of, but certainly not all of the news. That would be insane. Coming out of comic books, anime, TV, video games, and movies. I will lead us off with comics. So Batman is getting a new Batmobile, and it may look kind of familiar. Batman's Ongoing is relaunching with a new #1 from writer Matt Fraction and artist Jorge Jimenez. Images of his new costume made rounds in February. And we have them here. Randy, if you want to throw those up. They're going back to the Batsuit.
Oh, Batsuit. Sorry.
Yes. So they are going back to a more Neil Adams inspired blue and gray costume for Batman in this new run, as seen here. Now, they showed these pictures off in February. They've been planning this for almost a year now. But the issue drops in September, and the new Batmobile looks a little something like this. Now, if that doesn't look a little bit familiar to you, you might remember a little movie starring Robert Pattinson that featured a souped-up muscle car as the Batmobile, and this is very much inspired by that. So from Jorge Jimenez's own Instagram page, he has posted these images of the car, and he says that it is fast, powerful, and all electric.
Oh, eco-conscious. I like it.
Yeah. So previously, Batman was just burning through fossil fuels like you wouldn't believe to get from one side of Gotham to the other, and now he's doing it safely and effectively in the future world tech that is DC's tech universe. So
no more rocket car.
I mean, it's an electric rocket car, I guess.
I wonder if
Nightmare Nerdscape says the guy who owns Wayne Enterprises is going green. Yep. Batman's gone woke, anger from the crowd. Yeah, you'll see that. Oh, speaking of Batman, I feel like I need to apologize for making fun of the Absolute Universe. From what I heard, is pretty good. It is. The Absolute Universe is a fucking blast. Moving on from comic book news, Jen, what do you have for anime?
Well, I know I've already talked about this, but I wanted to give a little bit of update on Demon Slayer. So, Demon Slayer is their first movie for the Infinity Castle is staying at #1 for the second weekend in a row. That's not really a big shocker for any of us here. But this is after, remember, they had a very record-breaking weekend last weekend. So the film actually has now passed 10 billion yen. So that is the equivalent of 67.3 million US dollars. And it's only 8 days out from its release date. So this is, you can see the picture of Zenitsu there. So yeah, it's trucking right along. Doesn't really look like it's going to be moving from the #1 spot anytime soon, in my opinion. So I look forward to see it break even more records that Mugen Train is still holding on to by the skin of its teeth.
Yeah, it's a beast that's rolling along, and I'm excited to see it doing it. I can't wait till we can see it. They didn't bring it to our local theater, so I'll have to catch it somewhere online if I'm going to watch it.
There's definitely a lot of online presence of it, but there's a lot of people that I work with that said they've seen it, but they didn't actually want to sit down and watch it because they want to wait for the theatrical experience. So it's like, yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah, I'll probably catch it on streaming if I can. Yeah. Anybody else excited for the Infinity Castle, planning to go see it? Landon, I know you're in a larger city where it would probably be easier to catch it.
Man, if I watched Demon Slayer, I probably would be excited. I keep saying this every time anime news comes up. I wish I was more into anime. I want to get more into anime, but
we're gonna eventually have to like Clockwork Orange you, and by that I mean like strap you to a chair and hold your eyes open, not the other thing that it means.
Yeah.
And make you watch anime.
What's the other thing it means? Drop a giant penis statue on somebody's head?
That and home invasion kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
You all finally get me to watch Freerun.
Milk bars.
So
I
good.
will personally drop eye drops in your eyes to make sure they are moistened so you can see Freerun the Slayer.
It's so good, dude.
Worth it.
It really is.
I will make sure your eyes are well lubricated.
I finally got Katrina into it. It took so much, like sitting, starting it, watching most of an episode and her falling asleep. And so and then I'd watch like 4 or 5 episodes after she passed out, and then going back and finding where she fell asleep so she remembered it.
Do you remember this?
Do it
Do you
again.
remember this?
I think it's like the 12th episode before they go to that town where they fight the demons. And that's where the show kind of shows you what it's actually about, which is that Freerun is this insanely powerful magician who, like what she did to defeat the Demon King, you finally get a glimpse of that. And I knew that once she saw that, she would be hooked. But 11 episodes of anime to get through before somebody can see the value in the anime.
They're also like split in half almost, where it's like 2 15-minute segments.
Yeah.
So it's like 24. It really feels like even
and
it takes
that's
forever
the
to
thing.
build up, but it's worth it.
But now we watch it like almost every night. We'll watch like 2 episodes trying to finish this first season because season 2 is getting ready to come out, and she loves it and she's excited and she suggests watching it. But man, was that a pain in the ass because I wanted to be like yelling at her like, "Fucking wake up! You gotta watch this!" But instead, I just had to be patient, so I didn't scare her away like a baby deer, so that I could share this show with her because I know she's really gonna like it. But oh my god, I went through the same thing with her on. Landon, what were you going to say? I apologize.
I was just going to say that I'm not a big fan of slow burn shows, and a lot of anime tend to be more of a slow burn kind of thing, so it's just a bit harder for me to get into them sometimes.
Check out Solo Leveling. That show puts its foot on the gas at the beginning and never stops.
You're
all
not
the way to the end of
wrong
season
about
2.
this being a very slow burn show, but like, do you like Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
It gives like Lord of the Rings like slow vibes, like walking like Shire vibes.
Freerun's fun in that it shows this beautiful fantasy world first and really gives you the rules and of the world and how it works and establishes what the story is about before it dumps like what's actually going on and the main like storyline onto you. And it's really I think that's one of the draws of it is that it's so immersive by the time you get to the good shit, like the really good shit. It's good from the beginning.
I agree.
Billy in the chat says, "Is that the one with the hot grandma?" No, that's Don to Don.
Yeah, that's Don.
Nah.
I don't remember what her name is, but that's the hot grandma that's like in her 30s.
Yeah,
or looks like she's in her 30s.
But so I went through the same thing with Katrina whenever I was trying to get her to watch Invincible, because I've read all the Invincible comics and she's not going to read the comic omnibus. So I was introducing her to the show, and it's in the first episode, you know, that at the end, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched it or doesn't know, Omni-Man kills the Guardians of the Globe in the first episode. And that came much later in the comics, but I was trying to watch this with her and get her interested, and I swear to God, every fucking time we were getting close to the end of the first episode, her eyes would glaze over, she'd start playing on her phone, and she'd find something else to do. And I was like, I know this is your thing. Like, I know you're going to love this. I know the second this gets gory and violent, you're going to be like, I have to watch every episode. And you are trying so fucking hard not to let me have this W. And
give me my
so
moment.
finally, like the fourth time I started the first episode and we were getting near the end, because she's like, I don't remember any of this. And she kept saying again, I was like, I don't remember any of this. We'll have to watch the whole thing again. I'm like, oh, well, fucking watch it. And so we're like in our bedroom. I have it on. We're folding laundry. We're talking kind of on and off, but I want her to pay attention. So she'll start a conversation and I'll be like, yep. And be looking at the TV like, please look at what's going on. I want you to catch all this. So we are coming up to like the end, like right before Omni-Man kills the Guardians. And she's like, takes out her phone, turns her back entirely to it, starts listening to a little video on her phone. And I was like, I paused it and I was like, babe, please, 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 for me, just watch this last 5 minutes. Please, can you do that for me? And she got so mad at me. She's like, fine, I'll fucking watch it. Fine, I'll look. God, why is this so important to you? And I'm like, it's not important to me. It's important to you. And you need to watch it. And so she's angry at me, but she sits and rage watches the end of the episode and finally gets to the scene where Omni-Man kills everybody. And she looks at me. She's just, oh my God. And I was like, I know.
I tried to tell you.
Without spoiling this, I've been trying to get you to organically watch this and tell me whether you like it or not. And instead, I had to piss you off to get you to do it. And I revisit that every time we go through this. But Free Run was another example. It's like she's given me a bit more leeway because she went 12 episodes and gave it a chance. So I know she knows that my suggestion was good this time. But you know, and then like, you know, she watches the show like after we air or whenever she can catch it, and we're all talking about it, so she knew it was good. And so I had to go through this whole slog to get her through the episode so I could get her hooked so that we could watch the rest of the series. But yeah, it's you know, it takes 12 episodes to really get to the good stuff, where you see that Free Run is someone you do not fuck with. Anyway,
but so on Amazon they're called iSpeculum, and there's a set of 4 for $20. I think this is an investment that we need to make.
iSpeculum?
He's going back to
hold your eyes
Clockwork
open.
Orange
And
joke.
you could like it's a set of 4.
Really
it's a set of 4, so you can have one to make her watch the shows you want to watch.
Oh,
and we can make Landon watch one.
Sorry.
And also Billy, she's apparently in her 50s or 60s, but that's not how she's drawn.
Yeah, no
Because
shit.
she said 30s gross.
He's talking about Turbo Granny, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think.
I
She's the one
would
that says the sexy things.
Yeah, she wants to touch your dangly parts.
Gobble. She uses
She wants
the
to
term
gobble
gobble.
your junk.
Gobble your weenie.
Anyway, moving along from, was that all your anime news? I feel like you had a couple stories. Was that everything?
Oh, Randy actually brought me a recommendation. Sorry, went off on a tangent. The Boy and the Beast film returns to the U.S. theaters August 18th for just one teensy weensy measly little day. So this actually debuted in Japan in July 2015 and then came to the US in March 2016. So this is actually about a boy who stumbles into this fantastical world of beasts. And the gruff warrior beast you just saw in the picture takes him on as an apprentice. And over time, they form a surrogate kind of father-son bond. Who saw that coming? But it actually sounds like that would probably be kind of up my alley. So I might actually check this out. So I'll let you know.
Yeah. I haven't watched The Boy and the Beast yet. Randy, have you seen it?
No, I keep wanting to, and that's why I was like, "Ooh, it says it's coming out in theaters," and I have to catch that.
I've heard good things about it, and the voice actors we had at the show this last for anime are in it.
I
So
think John Swayze plays
cool.
Yeah.
the titular
John
beast.
Swayze's in it.
Or bear.
Okay.
Well, beast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he looks like a bear. But
Cool.
It's interesting.
Okay, and then what did we? Oh, I will move along. What?
I was saying, are we going to go to? I have a bridge between anime and gaming news.
We're actually going to move along to TV news.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Which is the format we use every week, where it's me, Jen, me, Landon, me again.
It's all about you.
That's okay. I don't expect you to remember these things, Randy. Moving
I'm here to
along.
listen, I'm here to technically direct.
Moving along. In television news, so they are rebooting or relaunching King of the Hill with a new 14th season. It actually starts in a couple of days, but ahead of the release, it has been given a 100% on Rotten Tomato. It is certified fresh.
Really?
Yes. So King of the Hill season 14 from reviews has all been positive. And that is not to say that it's perfect or that everyone 100% liked everything in it, but that just means that plus to minus for the reviews, every reviewer has been more positive than negative for it. And that gives it a 100% score for its launch in a couple of days. Are any of you excited about this re-release of King of the Hill?
I've been excited about it since I heard about it being spread around. Because I don't know how many of you know this about this continuation of King of the Hill. This isn't something that like Hulu commissioned or anything like that. This isn't something like a bunch of corporate suits sought out to make themselves. Mike Judge had been shopping this around for the better part of a year, I think. Like he had just gotten a new studio. Some of the guys were wanting to just try out, and they basically just made a couple of mock episodes just to have fun with and get used to working in the teams and everything. And then at the end of those few mock episodes, they were like, shit, we really want to make King of the Hill again. So this isn't just a corporation trying to reboot something for nostalgia reasons. This is the actual creator wanting to do it again. So that's why I'm excited about this.
So I've never actively sought out King of the Hill to watch it. Like I've never binged it when it was on live television. I didn't try to, or not live, but when it was actively being dropped on television, I didn't try to find it. If it's on, I'll watch it, but I've never been that attached to the show. It's probably the complete lack of violence in it, other than a couple of episodes.
Pocket sand.
Yeah, other than a couple of episodes, but it just doesn't have the draw for me that it does for other people. So that's why I was asking.
I feel like it's got like funny moments.
Billy just in the comments said King of the Hill is one of the greatest cartoons of all time.
He's right.
I feel like it's got funny moments to it, but it's not something that I'm with you, Danny. It's not like something like, oh, hey, yeah, new episode of King of Hill's out. I never was like that about it, but it definitely has funny moments that I find highly entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Hill has given us some of the greatest quotes of all time. I don't know you.
That's my
Yeah. So I'm not saying that I don't like it. It's just never been a big draw for me. I enjoy King of the Hill. I understand Dale and, the whole Hank and Debbie, not Debbie, Hank and
Peggy.
Peggy,
Peggy.
thank you. Their relationship, I understand it. I get it, and I'm not shitting on it by any measure. I love the show. I think it's great. I just have never felt the need to seek it out. So I don't know. I know Landon said he's really looking forward to it. Joey, are you looking forward to it?
I'm ready to see it. Yeah.
I assume Billy is. I don't know about CJ. He said Futurama was far superior. I do love Futurama.
I do love, yeah.
That's hard to compare though, because they are so different. I don't know which one of those I like more. Probably Futurama, but like my friend got me into, like, it used to be on after school all the time, but it would be one where like, would I pay attention to it or not? But then my friend got me into King of the Hill like big time. But Futurama is so good though.
It's like comparing apples to oranges. That one.
They're not in competition with each other, and they don't need to be.
One of the things I've always loved about Futurama, and this is interesting because it's also another John DiMaggio property. It brings back, or it has callbacks in the later series that go all the way to the very first episode, that come back like 8 seasons later. And I've always loved that, and I love that about Adventure Time. I've always thought that was really cool too, that they do that. And that's one of the things that makes Futurama so good, is that there's history there, and then there's callbacks. That's what the best seasons of The Simpsons did as well. There'd be small jokes in season 10 that reference something that happened in season 3, and you would only know the in joke if you had watched all the seasons. I love that when TV shows do that. And I don't know that necessarily King of the Hill did that so much, but that's why I like a lot of the Matt Groening creations. And but anyway, I'll probably catch the best bits that hit the internet for King of the Hill's reboot, but I'm not going to seek it out actively.
I say I'm going to watch it day one, but I'll probably not.
Billy said, but it doesn't have dumb giant anime fights in it, so I guess it sucks. I didn't say it sucks, Billy. I did not.
What it sounded like.
I like King of the Hill. I just don't seek it out.
Because it doesn't have big dumb giant anime fights.
Because it doesn't have big dumb giant anime fights.
If
Yes.
he makes a
nobody fights.
Gundam
Yeah.
fueled by propane, I'm in.
Yeah. A propane powered Gundam, totally
With
in.
propane accessories.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along. Landon, what do you have in video game news?
All right. Bouncing from Jen talking about how Demon Slayer movie broke records. Hunter x Hunter video game, Nen Impact, also broke records because it is currently the worst scoring game on Metacritic for 2025 so far.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oops.
Yeah. The only thing I saw whenever this news came out was a bunch of people saying, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Hunter x Hunter. This game looked terrible from the beginning. This doesn't shock me whatsoever.
Hunter x Hunter has some really great big dumb anime fights in it, and I'm shocked they couldn't make a good game out of it.
Is it bad enough that if I say Hunter x Hunter, I won't be corrected?
No. It's Hunter x Hunter. You don't pronounce the
But
S.
this game is so bad. Do you want it associated with the anime? Or are you just going to let that slide?
I'm not going to let it slide that you called Hunter x Hunter Hunter x Hunter, regardless of the reason.
But I'm not calling Hunter x Hunter
Oh my
Hunter
God.
x Hunter. I'm
Maybe
saying
you can call it
Hunter x
Hunter x
Hunter Nen,
That doesn't even
Master
sound
of
right.
Nen.
Don't throw
Sorry,
anything at it.
that conversation honestly made me zone out for a second.
I have 3 monitors to shield me. I'm
For flying objects.
Billy says I'm still looking forward to King X Hill.
Oh, that's so good.
Good to diffuse the tension.
CJ said King of the Hills is the gummy bears to Futurama's Darkwing Duck. Like, I'll watch it, but
Hey, it's
Bobby is a
not
kaiju.
everybody's
I like
thing.
that too.
Like, not everybody's a Bob's Burgers fan, but they kind of fall into a similar category. King of the Hill is more muted than Bob's Burgers, but similar in that it's not a totally in-your-face humor. It's a bit of a muted humor sort of thing.
You know what's
sometimes.
funny about that comparison? Bob's Burgers does have a big kaiju fight.
you know what else is funny about that comparison? I like Bob's Burgers. I don't actively seek it out. I've seen a handful of episodes, but I've certainly by no stretch of the imagination have I seen a lot of it. And it's Katrina's comfort show. Like she's rewatched it so many times, and I have not seen it from beginning to end. Not end, it's still ongoing, but beginning to current streaming. And I'm a much bigger fan of Archer for sure. Probably because of all the big giant spy fights.
There's
Not all about the fighting.
it's not kaiju, but it's a mech fight in that.
Yeah. But anyway, Landon, what else you got in video game news?
Okay. The Microsoft CEO claims that the company is thriving despite hundreds of layoffs in the past month. He claims that success is not about
Longevity.
longevity. Thank you. It is about relevance.
So, in this modern era that we live in, if you say it out loud in the public, anything can be anything you want. You know, longevity is not success. Popularity is. Well, sure, why not?
There's no war in Bossing Say.
Yeah.
There's no, yeah. It does come with a modern business understanding that $1 today is worth $2 tomorrow, which is an actual thing I was taught in class.
Not with inflation.
Yeah.
But
it is incredible to me that we have reached the point, and not that this wasn't the case previously, but we have reached the point in our society where if you're rich and you say it, like at least 45% of the country is going to back you up, whether you're right or not, whether the thing you say is the dumbest fucking thing anyone has ever heard. Somebody's going to be like, well, no, he really knows what he's talking about. And I think that you don't know because you're not a billionaire CEO. Well, no, I'm not a billionaire CEO, but I can tell you that a successful company is one that has lasted for 50 plus years, not one that has lasted for a week, no matter how popular that week was. Like Firefest. Do we consider that successful? It was very popular.
That's so bad.
They're trying to do a sequel.
This is a shit take, but in his defense, Sears Roebuck was around for a long time.
Yes. Are we saying that Sears is not successful?
I mean, it's not around anymore.
Technically speaking,
it did fail.
Here we go.
It did fail. It lasted a long time, and it still failed, which proves that nothing is permanent.
Sears Brick and Mortars went away. Kmart went away, which was also owned by Sears. But the Sears company is still active. They are Craftsman is still a product owned by Sears, and is still actively being sold. So they have just changed their business model.
So Microsoft needs to have brick and mortar stores.
Microsoft needs to get out of console creation and get into game making.
They need a Freaky Friday.
Yeah. And get out of computer program making.
And computer program accessories.
Yes. Okay, cool. Is that everything for gaming, Landon?
Yeah, corporations, CEOs are still making dumb decisions because they got into their position through a mix of luck, being cutthroat, and schmoozing. But moving on, one last bit of news. Visa and MasterCard are currently being overwhelmed with complaints from people about their changes to Steam and itch.io now. For those of you that don't know, MasterCard and Visa, as well as PayPal and a few other payment processing companies, forced Steam and itch.io to remove certain games from their listings. It wasn't really that many games in the long run, but it was still something that they forced the companies to do and forced consumers to no longer have access to these things. So people have been campaigning by calling them, not just emailing or whatever, but actively calling them to complain about what they have done. And they're being overwhelmed with all the calls.
That's great.
So right.
We want our games.
Yeah, I don't. That's definitely overstepping. Like that is not their place to decide what people can and cannot play.
But what if it were? They want to pose the question, what if they did get to say that?
Which is why we should fight back, because that's fucking stupid.
Their phone wires
Last time I checked, not a lot of your finance bros are in control of video game marketing content and what is cool going out on consoles and PC.
They should, because they're bad at it.
And Billy, from what I've heard, people are getting through to actual employees, not just automated answering machines. They are reaching out and getting employees to the point to where they're answering, and as soon as they hear complaints about Steam, they're like, please just send an email or something so that they can actually ignore it.
That's exciting, but it's not AI being like, we are sorry for your discomfort. Have you thought about reaching out to Jesus?
Billy also said, I would think they would be more concerned with the money laundering going on instead of porn games.
Well, let me ask you this, Billy. Do they still get their cut? Because if they still get their cut, I don't think they care too much about the money laundering.
Well, speaking
especially
of
people especially the people who are money laundering tend to have a lot more money, and it's a bit harder to push them around as much.
Wait, I have a question. So is it porn games?
Yeah, it's mostly porn games.
How okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I live in a cave. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's porn games, but it's like the start of things. If they take an inch, they'll take a mile.
How do they
That's
play
one
porn
of the
games?
games
my
that they're trying to get
porn.
rid of.
Yeah.
How do you play a porn game?
It's a slippery slope, which is another
Another good one.
true, and it's
That's a
also
classic.
another game
Yeah.
that they're trying to get rid of.
Like, what? I have questions. Wait.
CJ said Muff Diver Extreme.
Nice.
I don't understand. How do you do that? Okay.
What
Okay,
do you
go
not
on.
understand the concept of a porn video game? Or do
I
you not
guess I
understand
don't.
why credit card companies are trying to shut them down?
Like
I get
dating
the
sim,
credit
yeah.
card part. I don't understand porn games.
Well, like there's like dating.
I'll
sim
let the
games.
expert explain it.
Yeah,
Hold on.
There's like
Wait,
dating sim games that
I'm
involve
sorry,
like.
everyone
No, it's
in the
okay.
audience. I need this. What's going on?
Well, like Billy says, not just some porn games, a lot of LGBTQ plus games as well.
Yeah.
But it's like dating sim games where like, oh, if the date goes well, things happen.
Yep.
And then there's more extreme ones, but like that's kind of the in general. Like
There's some waifu games out there
Mhm.
where you end up with like you play through like dating sims for like different anime inspired girls and then end up having sex with them at the end of like if you win like the round or whatever. That's like how that game plays, and it's just like hentai scenes with like word
Oh.
bubbles.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. I was very.
CJ said, Jen, imagine D&Ding your way through a sexual encounter, then put graphics to it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay, I get it. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, roll performance.
Yeah, like you're a bard and you're going up against a dragon, and you have inspiration.
There's fantastical ones. Okay.
And you roll to seduce,
Roll initiative.
and you hit a nat 20, and your stat is very high to begin with, and the dragon like goes from breathing fire at you to giving you the eye.
Oh, you're a girl
Dragon
dragon.
We never said
Right.
it was a girl dragon.
Right, exactly.
And the dragon is like, do you mind if I bring someone along? And you're like, I mean, sure.
Look, I'm not saying I'm into dragons, but I would be the top in a male dragon relationship.
I think
You're not
my
catching. No catching for
second
you.
podcast, you didn't know what scalies were.
Yeah. Well, those are like
You
furries.
best start
people dress up
believing
like
in
lizards.
scalies, Danny.
Yeah.
You are one.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm never going to dress as a lizard. I'm just saying,
Unless we get how many
If I was-
subscribers, for you to dress like a dragon on camera.
if we can break
Oh, no.
10,000 subscribers on our YouTube, I will commission a Scalies costume and wear it for an episode.
Wait, how many did you
Absolutely.
say? I missed the number.
10,000.
10,000.
If our
I was
YouTube
too
breaks
busy worrying
10,000
about
followers, I will wear a Scalies costume. I will have one made, and we can
Not
all.
a Scalies costume. Your
My I'll be a scale. I'll
We're
come
not
up with
renting this. We're
I'll come up
buying
with a scale sona. I don't know because
I
it's
think you could
persona
just
with
probably
furry,
call it a
right?
Persona.
It's just still called Persona.
Persona.
Oh, it's a fursona with a scale.
Yeah, they're just like, we're not going to try to make Scale Sona a thing. It's just Fursona. They already got a good name. We're not going to try to change it just for.
Drag sona was right there.
I'm
You could
learning
be a
from
drag
it.
Sona too. A drag Fursona?
Uh,
That'd be pretty dope.
yes, 10K, CJ, and I definitely won't regret saying this out loud. And agreeing to it. But you guys know if I say I'll do it. So I'm down. Whatever. Let's make it happen.
Far right groups pressured payment companies to ban porn games and also try to remove some other games that they just didn't like Detroit Become Human, and of course GTA. Long story short.
Yeah. Idiots. Okay, let's move along to our last story, which is movie news. So there's a character from James Gunn's Superman that people had a lot of questions about because he doesn't come from the Superman canon. He was an original creation for the movie, and he was a creation by James Gunn. So when asked who his favorite character from the Superman movie was, James Gunn said, "I'm not sure, but I think it's Mr. Handsome." Here's the actual quote from X. When people ask me my favorite character from Superman, it just might be Mr. Handsome. Lex created Mr. Handsome in a petri dish when he was 12. He was trying to make a human. He didn't come out so well, but he just might be the only one in the world Lex has any true sentiment for. So I guess the news here is in a comic story with characters that have been around for 70 plus years, 80 plus years now. James Gunn was like, I guess my favorite character is the one I came up with. Yes, Lex actually has a picture of Mr. Handsome on his desk in his office. I was confused about that when I saw the movie, but now it makes sense. It was his first creation, and he's the most proud of it.
So Lex just has a homunculus that he keeps around?
Yeah.
Pretty much. He's like a little boatman in his.
Yeah, he's like the ferryman
prison.
for the other prison he has. Like,
Is
I don't know.
Boris Wolnick's a person?
I don't think
Is
so.
it like an Easter egg or anything? Or is
Yeah,
it, just a
it
random-
might be an Easter egg, but I'm not familiar with it off the top of my head. But anyway, so anybody else? Anything about the Mr. Handsome stuff? Cool. Well, I hope this news didn't just graze you. This has been the bullet points. Welcome back to the show. Guys, I saw a little movie over the weekend called Fantastic Four First Steps. We finally have a Fantastic Four movie that exceeds Roger Corman's original from the 90s that was never released. But let's get into the three cuts. So how many of you have seen this movie?
I have.
Yeah.
You have, Randy?
Mhm.
Okay, so Randy and I, everyone else, spoiler alert, we're going to get into it. Hold on to your seats, I guess. But anyway, so we are going to get into it. We will do a quick review of it, and we'll move along to our next segment. I'll try not to tarry too long here.
Said he has seen it. I think that's what that means.
Yeah.
I think so. That's
Yes, no, CJ's definitely seen it. He was talking about it on our chat. So first cut, the good. There is a ton of good in this movie. It is a period piece of a retro future 1960s that never existed. The Cold War never happened. It looks like World War II never happened in this universe, that they found a solution in some way that got them around it. And it is a future that is being defined by Reed Richards' technology and his world, the world being kind of hinging on the creation of the Fantastic Four. It skips the usual origin story that we've gotten for them. It doesn't really show the space mission. It shows a video recalling what happened on their space mission that gave them their powers. But for the but 9/11 still happened, right, Billy? No, because it takes place in the 60s. 9/11 would not have happened yet. But
with the towers,
September 11th, 1961. They might have just built
the Future Foundation building rather than the Twin Towers.
I don't know. But anyway, this story is such a good representation of what the Fantastic Four is. Pedro Pascal as Reed Richard is the first person out of all of the people who have played Reed Richards who understood the character. This is comic accurate Reed Richards in the movie. So Reed is a caring, loving human being who goes with cold logic first and caring second. And it doesn't make him an awful human being. He still always comes back to the human element, and that's why Sue is there. But he first thinks about how to solve a problem and then thinks about, wait, how is this going to impact the people around me? So a lot of times when you get a Reed Richards, he's either like a quirky weirdo, but he's like super like, oh, I'm scared that if I'm too smart, people aren't going to like me. Or he's somebody that is absolutely fucking awful. Basically like the... God, what is his name? The ultimate version of Reed Richards. The Maker. Or he's like the Maker, where he's doing things because he's scientifically curious and he thinks he knows the best, and he doesn't care what the fallout is or how it hurts everybody else. This is the best Reed Richard we have gotten on screen. I think he is awesome. I think that this version of Ben Grimm is the best The Thing we have gotten on screen. It's way better than Michael Chiklis's version. It's certainly better than the nude one from Fanforstic. And it's better than the giant rubbery costume we got in the 90s version. It is the best on-screen Ben Grimm. It seems like it is the comic accurate Ben Grimm we've been waiting for. He looks like this. That's what we want. He looks like this. They didn't smooth the edges. He's got the giant brow. He's got the tiny little blue eyes. He's built like this. And that is what he should be. They're not making excuses for the comic history or trying to rationalize it away. And they're not trying to make him realistic. He is a giant rock monster with a heart of gold. Mama Grimm's blue-eyed baby boy. CJ said, and he doesn't look out of place, which was amazing. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't seem out of place in the group. He's not CGI'd to death in every scene that he shows up in. Like, he's a living part of this story, and he's a great character. And he's got Ben Grimm's personality, which is that he's a really sweet guy until you piss him off, which is not really the version that we've gotten to date. The Johnny Storm is great. Chris Evans' Johnny Storm was awesome, but he's a hothead and he's fiery and he does, he runs off without really thinking things through. This Johnny Storm is excited, but he's really sweet and he is part of this family and the family dynamic really works. And Sue Storm is the best Sue Storm we've ever gotten. And that is saying a lot because I have a massive crush on Jessica Alba, and I always have, and it'd be hard for me to pick somebody over her, but Vanessa Kirby kills it. She carries the movie. I've heard from multiple reviewers she is the heart of this movie. She's emotionally a genius, whereas Reed isn't intellectually a genius, and that stands up. She's the heart of this movie. It very much pivots on her. Herbie's a great addition for us to finally get an on-screen. Herbie was awesome. Galactus looks great. He's exactly what Galactus should be, which is that he's just a giant dude. And that's what we get. He's a giant dude with crazy cosmic powers. That's who Galactus is, and that's the version that we get in this movie. The shallow ball Silver Surfer, I've heard some complaints that she doesn't have enough lines in the movie. She doesn't need them. Her like appearance, her like
dramatic entrance.
Yes,
like,
her dramatic entrances, the
incredible.
weight that she carries as a character, especially for a primarily CGI character, is incredible. She doesn't have to have 100 lines in this movie to steal the show. Every scene that she is in, she steals the show. So I don't think she needed to say a lot. There's, Norrin Rad is a man of few words, so why should Shala Bal be any different? I think this was a great way to reintroduce the Silver Surfer without borrowing from the Norrin Rad character.
She also actually surfed, which was really cool.
Yes.
Like stupid, but like
Yes.
not even stupid.
Yes.
Just like they gave her a scene where like legit just
Twice,
surfing
yeah.
on some lava goop.
Yes, in a couple of the scenes, she's actually surfing like a surfer, which makes sense because she's the Silver Surfer. It was
She
awesome.
didn't have to. She can phase through like whatever she wants. She didn't have to do that. She's
Nobody
just
has
she's
to
just
surf,
stunting on
Randy. You
people.
do it because it's fucking cool, and she gets that.
And then she gets force choked by Sue, and that's also awesome.
Yes. So that's the good. This movie's awesome. The story's great. The characters are great. The tone is perfect. I've heard a lot of people say the tone is off. This isn't what they expected, especially in comparison to Superman. I think that's stupid. I think that they are characterizing this movie based on their pre-existing ideals of what a superhero movie is, and they aren't watching it for what is intended to be. So we'll get into the bad now. So second cut, the bad. The bad for this movie is very little. The CGI gets wonky sometimes. They try to CGI Franklin into a couple of scenes, and it wasn't as polished as you would like to see in a CGI scene. I think that the reason for this is because they rewrote a lot of the movie near the end. They cut out a bunch of scenes that they were already using and inserted some new scenes. They got rid of the Red Ghost, which was the John Malkovich character. And I think the CGI just
though, which is wild. I don't know why they did that. Like at the beginning, they go through like a montage and they cut out him, but not the monkeys, and he's mentioned. And I'm like,
probably because just
been
showing
him
John
kicking the
Malkovich
water.
on screen as the Red Ghost would have caused them to have to pay him more money.
Mhm.
And so if they weren't going to leave the full scene with him in it in the movie, then they probably cut every scene of him in the movie because they don't have to pay the CGI monkeys,
Yeah.
So those decisions, you can see it in the CGI. They definitely didn't have production where they needed it to be by the time they put this movie up. But that's okay. It takes you out of the scene, especially being as it's like one of the final scenes of the movie that they introduce this CGI baby into these scenes. So I can see where that kind of is. It's taking people out of the scene, and it kind of hurts them for watching the movie. But that's like one of the only things I can think of that was like, ow, that's really bad.
It's a weird compositing thing, is what it seemed like. Like old movies where it's like, I mean, like Superman, like the third one, he's like flying around, and the background is like definitely weird, and you can kind of see an outline. It's almost like that, but it's all CGI imagery, like the baby CGI, and what's behind them is CGI.
Yes.
And it's like, and what he's like crawling on is CGI. So it's like, what happened there?
Yes. So I will agree with all of that. That's like it for the bad. So what I will say is that a lot of reviewers are shitting on this, and they're like, especially comparing it to the bright colors and the flashiness and the fun of James Gunn's Superman movie, and then comparing it to the previous iterations in the MCU. That's not what this movie is. I will tell you right now, as I was watching it, the only thing I could think was, if this movie was a biopic about some singer that was starring a modern actor playing all of their songs or whatever, this movie would be up for Oscar contention. The reason that it isn't is because it's about 4 superpowered individuals fighting a giant spaceman. Because it is a period piece in a retro-futuristic 1960s that looks like it exists. It is like you are watching actual world history unfold about 4 astronauts who got superpowers and changed their world, and they are played that way. Pedro Pascal is not playing Reed Richards as a comic book character. He is playing him as a real person that really existed. And that is true for every single person in this movie, in every role in this movie. And that is why people are like, well, it just doesn't have the heart that these other superheroes movies did. Yeah, I didn't hear you saying that about Oppenheimer, because a lot of that is slow as shit and kind of boring. And you're not like, well, it's not as flashy as other movies about people who created atomic bombs. This movie is completely misunderstood. And I think with the lens of looking back at it from, 10 years in the future or 5 years in the future, and then looking back at this, it's incredible. It is incredible that this movie takes itself as seriously as it does with what it had to do for the MCU. It has, it is, everybody in this movie is turning in an incredible performance. And people just don't understand what they're looking at, I think, because I didn't see what other people were seeing. I watched it and I was like, holy shit, they are acting the shit out of this movie. And they were. Like, even Ben Grimm, even what's his name? Evan Ross Bacharach, even he was just fucking killing it in a role as a guy in a mocap suit. Like, I can't compare it to anything else. There's no other superhero movie like this. I've heard people say that like The Incredibles was a better version of this because the family was more realistic, or there was more family and more heart in it.
They're wrong. Sorry.
And I was
love
like,
The Incredibles. They're wrong.
And I was like, okay, so I'm going to go into watching this really, really. No, it's so good. Do I think it's going to save the MCU? God, no. And I don't think that's what it was meant to do. They just made a good movie. I think everybody puts aspirations on these things, and it's completely unnecessary. It's not their job to save the MCU. It was not his. What's the director's name?
I had it pulled up. Matt
Shakman. It's not Shakman's job to save the MCU. That's Kevin Feige's job. Matt Shakman's job was to make a really good Fantastic Four movie, and he fucking nailed it.
And I was looking up who directed it, and it's Matt Shakman, like you said.
Yeah.
He's done like 43 episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and like it's not anywhere close to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but it's really cool because like he knows how to use an ensemble, because like Sue steals the show in my mind. Like she's absolutely phenomenal in this, and Vanessa Kirby is incredible. There's several moments where it's so good. But he knows how to use them and like how they work together, because like It's Always Sunny, like they're bad people, but like there's camaraderie there, and like not that he wrote that, but like there's camaraderie there. He knows how to like get the performance of like, because my mom went to see this with me and she liked Superman. She liked this one more. She might be in the chat. Say hi, Mom. But but she like, when there's a scene where Sue and Reed are like fighting or arguing over things that are happening in the movie, and she literally, like, Mom was like, leaned over and she was like, I like how they fight, like how they argue. And I was like, that's cool that it's just like it came off as realistic, where they're not like screaming at each other.
Yeah.
It's not a marriage story, which that's also a very good scene.
Like,
but it
seems to me like,
and like not muted, but like it's a real
argument. It seems to me like in several scenes in the movie where they could have punched the dialogue up and made some little like snappy little jokes or tidbits or comedic elements, like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, or like James Gunn is known to do. They chose to instead have realistic reactions to what was going on. And people are bothered by that because they're so used to superhero movies being so bright and peppy and everybody like having quippy lines and saying funny shit like every other scene, when they're not. And that's not what this was. They were just four human beings caught in this scenario, really living in it. And it's incredible. It's incredible to watch. It's incredible to see. It's like nothing else. It is like no other superhero movie that has been made to date. There's nothing else like it. And it's great. I don't know if this unseats Winter Soldier for me as the best MCU film, but goddamn, is it close?
I think it might. I think it might for me, because I like this is maybe recency bias, but I really like this movie. Like it's just so I like Superman. I like that in the movie he saves a squirrel. Like that is so cool to have. Like just he cares about the dogs, the people, the squirrels. Like he goes out of his way, saves a squirrel, sits it down, flies off to fight the giant kaiju. That's cool.
So-
That's like a great
so was
like
it
part
Danny
of a
or Joe
superhero.
that he saved?
But in this movie, sorry, what?
You said he
What?
saved a squirrel. Was it Danny or Joe?
Both of them. He would have saved both of them. He would have saved a real squirrel, and then probably Joe, then Danny, because Danny could probably hold off for a few seconds. But then in this movie, like, so I like that he's like, I'm gonna save everybody. Like I'm gonna do my best to save everybody. In this movie, there's a part where like Galactus wants baby. She's giving birth to baby. They're running from her, and the Silver Surfer is coming after the baby. And she is like having labor pains, like contractions, and she literally says, "Johnny, kill her. Johnny, she's trying to take your nephew. Kill her."
Yeah.
And it is, I was like, ooh, like that gave me like shivers, because I'm like, ooh, this lady is like no fucking around whenever like if the moment calls for it.
I mean, she's a
'Cause,
world
like,
leader. She's the leader of their world UN, and which is the Future Foundation.
yeah,
Like, she's a
and
world
she is,
leader.
like that. I think it was that point in the movie, which that's not super far in, but midway maybe. I was like, ooh, this movie is interesting, because like they're heroes, but like she's gonna kill someone for her family.
I mean, if killing Galactus had been the solution to Galactus, Reed would have killed Galactus, which I also think is like it's a realistic response to something that's going to destroy your entire planet, as opposed to like a comic booky response where it's like, well, I don't kill, and it's like, well, everybody's going to die, dude. But and I will also say, like, if you're talking about like my favorite MCU or favorite superhero movies, it's weird that my number one is Winter Soldier, which is about a bunch of characters I don't fucking care about. Normally, I'm not a Captain America fan generally, but the Winter Soldier gives us such a good version of Captain America that it's my favorite MCU movie. And then I have never, and you can quote me on this, I have never given a shit about the Fantastic Four. I find Fantastic Four comics to be incredibly boring. I don't care what they've got going on. I've never liked Marvel's First Family. And I liked this movie, and I cared about them, and it very much was a comic accurate Fantastic Four story while being engaging and fun and dynamic and real, like really real. And that was the difference for me, was that it felt like I was watching something that had actually happened, and that was incredible. So anyway, that's the bad, I guess. And then let's talk about the aftermath. So how do I rate this? I'm going to put this right there next to my rating for Superman, which is we're never going to find all the bodies these limbs go to. So that's the level of aftermath we are experiencing with how good this movie is. And I loved it. I can't say enough good things about it, and I can't wait to watch it again.
I do want to go watch it again.
I'm about to break down and go watch it.
Like people would talk about like, oh, they have they're going to return in like this
Avengers
movie or that
Doomsday
movie. And people are like, ooh, like I wonder, like, are they going to come to like our universe, or like, are they just going to be pulled into the bigger MCU? And I was like, I really kind of hope that the opposite happens, that like people get pulled into their universe, because it's so fun, and like they're not maybe not the only superheroes, but they're like the big dogs. Like we don't really hear much about other ones, so I'm like, and they like them. Like there's no like the pretty much the Future Foundation is like, we got an idea, and the whole world is like, hell yeah, let's try it. Yeah. And I'm like, that'd be like a fun comic book universe where it's like things happen, and the world itself is like, okay, we're on board. Like we get it. And I think like that would be a fun thing. Maybe not everybody, but you could pull people into like their universe and have this retro 60s vibe rather than like reboot or whatever like people are talking about them maybe doing. And I think that would be very fun to just have Winter Soldier in this universe, or have a Vision in this universe. Yeah.
Our DFPN daddy is Kelvin Kately is in the chat. Kelvin, what is up? Glad you're here. I will say they're going to like, I think very much that post Doomsday and Secret Wars, they are going to, for lack of a better term, New 52 the MCU. I think that we are going to get a new world where all of these superheroes have previously existed and they're all going to have always existed on it. I think we're going to get a relaunch. I think we're going to get new X-Men. I think we're going to get new Avengers. There's going to be a new Tony Stark, a new Steve Rogers. There's going to be a new Natasha. There's going to be a new Bruce Banner. There's going to be a new Thor. I think across the entire market of MCU characters, I think post Secret Wars, we're going to get exactly what they did in the comics. And I think that's why they're doing this storyline. I think they're going to take all these separate universes that have existed. So you've got the Sony universe, you've got the Fox universe, you've got the Universal universe, and you've got the Marvel, the MCU universe, the 616. And they're going to merge all of those into one world. And that world will have always existed unified. So I think that we're going to get a new Fantastic Four post Secret Wars. I don't think that the Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby versions are staying around for the next like 15 to 20 years. I think that we're going to get all new of all of these characters post Secret Wars. I think that's the whole point of this. I don't know if we'll get Miles Morales this way, because that's how Miles Morales came into the main 616 in the comics. But it is also possible that that's when we get the live action introduction of Miles Morales as well. Billy
says it would
go
be
ahead.
fun if Nicholas Hammond's Spider-Man got merged into the Fantastic Four universe.
Yeah.
And then CJ says, I think they have to. Someone has to be the anchor for all that change. I do think keeping the Fantastic Four around could be like a really big, like he's saying, like anchor point for this. Like, that's why I think it'd be fun to have everybody come, not everybody, but like come to this world. Because is it like Battle World? Is that what they're setting up? Where it's like everybody gets pulled? Yeah. Like, what if whenever like Doom is defeated or whatever, they get scattered and they're just like, oh, like he doesn't put them back in their universe exactly where they go. He's just like, get out.
So they've been very much gearing up with the King the Conqueror stuff, with the mention of incursions during the Loki series, very much gearing up for the Secret Wars, the Secret Wars 2, the version that took place in the early 2000s. And in the end of that, it was that all these different worlds from all these different universes, all these different realities. And it was originally, the conceit of it originally was to just merge the Ultimate Universe and the 616. But in order for that to happen, it ended up being that there were like 6 different realities that were all starting to collide with each other. And that the only way to save people was to destroy these realities one at a time. And so then God Emperor Doom created Battle World, and then these worlds battled each other, with the winners being the universes that survived. And that is very much what they're doing with this and going into the Secret Wars. They're not copying the original Secret Wars where Spider-Man got the Venom symbiote. They're copying the newer Secret Wars 2. And in that Secret Wars, the entire point was that multiple realities that existed at multiple times were all condensed into one reality in one universe, and that is what they are going for here. And I will be shocked. Somebody write this down, put it in a time capsule, and remind me in 15 years. I will be completely shocked if every single character in the MCU is not recast post Secret Wars.
Okay.
I mean, you have to have a time capsule with your Scaly costume. Yes. And then the Twin Towers began construction in 1966 and 1970, so I don't think they exist in this world.
Right, yeah, because the movie takes place in 65.
So I think the Future Foundations building might.
Now, the post-credit scene takes place in 1969, so we could have seen it there.
Ooh,
but
I wonder if it's in the skyline.
I'll have to look.
Well, it wouldn't have been built. Well, they could build things pretty fast in this universe, it seems like.
But that being said, that post-credit scene, I don't know if you guys have seen this leaked online or not, but a 4-year-old Franklin Richards, Sue leaves the room for a second, as any good, responsible parent does when they have a child who can create and change reality at their whims. And when she comes back into the room, Dr. Doom is kneeling down with his mask removed, and the 4-year-old Franklin is touching his face. Nobody has confirmed whether that is the Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Doom or the 838 or 828 Dr. Doom, whether those are the same character. Like, there's been no confirmation as to which version of Dr. Doom we're getting for this, but it is largely believed that that is the Robert Downey Jr. version of Doom, and that he is coming from an alternate reality to get Franklin. that was basically nothing. That post-credit scene was basically nothing. You just see the green hood and Franklin's holding the mask.
Oh yeah, the Latveria, and when they shows the embassy or the United Nations.
Yes,
The
during the Future
Latvian
Foundation scene, the
representation was
Latvian
specific.
embassy seats are empty both times that they show them. But anyway, so that has been my review of Fantastic Four First Steps. Thank you for joining us on the Three Cuts. Now we are moving along to a new segment that Jen will be presenting to us. Jen, I hand the reins to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. This segment is called Loose Ends. You know, I kind of struggle with what kind of segment to do, and it kind of brings me back to I am a very big Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, however you want to cut it, show and of the books. And so, there are two things that have always really bothered me about this show. One of them being the doom of Valyria. Okay. So George R.R. Martin, I mean, the only thing that I can tell is probably kind of throughout the books, he talks about this cataclysmic event that destroyed Valyria. So this is a city that is in southern Essos, and it involved volcanic eruptions from 14 different volcanoes. They call it the 14 flames. And there's earthquakes, there's tidal waves. I mean, Valyria was completely destroyed, if you guys didn't know that part of it. So the thing that really pisses me off is that they never give you a cause of what happened. Yes, you know all these cataclysmic things occurred, but why? There's theories out there, but nothing is. George R.R. Martin has never written anything that's cemented. So some people think that it's the magic that the Valyrians were using. They were thinking that they were keeping the volcanoes like under control, and then all of a sudden that control was lost, and then the volcanoes erupted. The other theories out there I didn't really even pay attention to, but the only indication of this is one of the king's, I think it was his sister, Daenerys, had a vision that predicted this doom. And so she, I guess persisted so much, her father finally agreed. And that's how you still have the Targaryen line in Westeros. But I just don't understand with how many books this guy has written, he still has not addressed this. Why? I want answers. What do you guys think?
So you just feel like you haven't had a satisfying explanation yet of what caused the doom of Valyria?
Not at all, because I mean, there's no one can still go there. You still can't even really even get close to the island. I think there was one point that I think Tyrion Lannister, I think in the TV is it the TV show? No, I think it was in the books. He got close to there, and all you could see was like a glow in the distance, and that's it. But and people who even get close to the broken islands that are there now, a lot of them don't return. Why?
Our human relations specialist and fact checker extraordinaire Ben Stewart is in the chat, and he says he can tell you
Hi,
what caused
Ben.
the doom of Valyria. I do believe, without an explanation, George R.R. Martin is probably still planning to write the story of the doom of Valyria and what led to it. That's probably why he hasn't fully unveiled what it was or how it happened. But George is not getting any younger, and he still hasn't fucking finished Winds of Winter, as has been mentioned in the chat a couple of times.
Several times.
And he's out here like doing interviews and critiquing other shit and talking about TV shows he cares about and all sorts of other shit and writing articles. And it's like, George, fucking go home and finish the fucking book. Don't do anything else until you're done with it.
I know.
I'm so tired of reading articles about other things that George R.R. Martin has done.
I mean, I was going to basically say what Chris said. Well, just let Brandon Sanderson start writing it. He finished Robert Jordan's books.
Sanderson saved everybody.
So Brandon Sanderson is the author in line to finish Game of Thrones if George doesn't finish it. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but he has already been chosen to be the guy to finish Game of Thrones. So I kind of wanted to happen because the way he finished Wheel of Time is fucking incredible. Those are the best 3 books in that series, and there's 14 of them. So
I know.
Yeah. He saves
Well,
everything.
I
Oh,
hope
he's throwing
they
shade.
do. And
CJ is such a hater when it comes to Brandon Sanderson.
he won't ever.
Yeah,
ever
Billy
let-
said, but George tweeted that he liked the new Superman, though. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, time for that.
Why are you on fucking Twitter, George? Go write your fucking book.
He even made like a comment about that. Look, people leave me alone. I'm doing other stuff too, and I can. I'm like, I think he is. People were so pissed off about the last season of Game of Thrones. He doesn't want to write it. I'm telling you.
Yes.
That's why. He does not want to write it now.
I think he's so jaded because he told the showrunners for Game of Thrones how the book was going to end. And even though they didn't follow the idea for the rest of it, they filled in the blanks. That ending is the ending George R.R. Martin is putting in the book. And he was pissed that people didn't like it. And people were like, when people were complaining about the ending of Game of Thrones, he was like, people just don't understand. Like, they just don't understand how could they be so shitty about like this ending and they just don't get it. And I think he's so jaded about it that he's just punishing everyone.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to finish it, honestly. I really don't. I mean, and
time's ticking on that. I would assume the Doom of Valyria has something to do with them taking the dragons out of Valyria and bringing them to, I can't remember the name.
Westeros?
Yeah, to Westeros.
Yeah.
And that in some way breaking the magic that kept whatever in bay in Valyria or at bay in Valyria.
I think maybe it has something to do with their specific dragons, because I didn't take all of them, because there was a lot of other dragon lords that lived in Valyria, and the Targaryen line is the only ones that lived.
Yeah. Well, no, because the I am drawing a blank on their name, but the sea, God, they're in Fire and Blood. No, the I forget his name. The sea dragon people.
I'm sorry, I can't.
God, what is his name? There's another line besides the Targaryens that live in Westeros, and they are a seafaring people. They're in the
House
the
of
sea
Dragon.
snakes. Thank you, Kelvin. And I forget their family name, the Black Valyrians, Billy. Yeah. But they are a different family from the Targaryens that are also of Valyrian descent with their own dragons, but they marry back into the family. But they are there were multiple lines of Valyrians besides the Targaryens that made it to Westeros post the doom of Valyria.
No, but all the other dragons died. So I'm like, was there something special about their dragons that left? Do you know what I mean? It just opens up more questions for me.
So I can answer some of that. Dragons are incredibly long-lived, and the dragons, once the dragons were no longer being hatched, the only dragons they had left were the ones that had not died. And it has something to do with, and he's never completely answered it, and people attribute it to many different things, but the comet that is passing over their world is bringing magic and the birth of dragons back concurrently, which is why Daenerys is able to hatch dragon eggs, because magic is coming back to Westeros and to their world because of the comet, which George has never explained what the comet is, and they completely forgot about it in the show.
Of course they didn't. I forgot about
mentioned early in the show, and then they stopped talking about it. Like, they don't bring it back up.
No. And the other thing that was not really addressed in the show, in the books, I don't remember as much in the books, but when they start talking about the prince who was promised, okay, That is another thing that was never explained. They never explained like where this prophecy originated from, like what religion, what culture, whatever. It just is. And if you guys don't know, it's just there was who is it? The red, what was her name? Melisandre.
Yep.
Melisandre is the
the
one.
red lady.
Yeah, she first thinks it's Stannis, but then and whatever happened to that creepy shadow ghost baby that she had that like kills Renly and you don't see it? Like that thing fucking terrified me. I'm like, is it gone? Like, is it gonna come back? Like,
So
I'm
it shows
scared.
back
I'm like,
up at the end, and it's the one that like does the deed to the Ice King. It steals from.
There is so many things from the books
yes.
that never made it into the show that the book has to give us answers for that the show never even fucking touched, that left so much of that up in the air. And I do believe the smoke baby that she gives birth to is one of those. Like there's never an answer to what the fuck that was. It's just like, oh yeah, that was scary and it killed somebody.
Oh, and I'm
That's
so
fine.
sorry, I forgot you had images for these.
That's okay.
So
Yeah, and you never like Smoke Baby's gone, and then like the whole like concept of the Princess Promise. Like I know first it was Stannis, and then they thought it was Jon, and then she thought it was she think it was Jon, and then she thought it might be Daenerys, and I think in the book I feel like George R. R. Martin kind of hinted that it might have been young Griff or Aegon. The one, I thought it might have been him because apparently
it's Jon Snow, right? Like by the end of that, it's Jon Snow. He's the prince that was promised because he's the son. Because he's a Targaryen, and they killed the Targaryen line off so that prince never happened. And then Jon was raised in secret by Ned because Jon is the prince that was promised.
Yeah, and that was the vision that Daenerys saw when she was in the House of the Undying, but she just didn't know it was Jon. But I mean, in the books, they start talking about this kid, young Griff, who is supposed to be the child of Rhaegar and Ellaria.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, who's this kid then? Because they never talk about him in the show. He was completely gone in the show. Huh?
Rhaegon is Jon's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhaegar is Jon's dad. Are you trying to confuse me? Oh, stop it, Danny.
No, I'm saying you're describing the prince that was promised and what happened. All of that is Jon Snow.
Right.
You're explaining it.
No, but in the books, Jon Snow and young Griff are two different characters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm like, so that's what I think. I think young Griff is the prince that's promised, but they never talk about it in the TV show at all.
I gotcha.
Like that character doesn't exist. So I'm like, I don't know. There's another thing that they never really say, and like all of a sudden, Bran, the three-eyed raven, like just becomes king, and I'm like, is he the prince that's promised? Because he's not a prince.
Bran is, I mean, technically, Winterfell was a seat with a king, and Bran would be a prince if he's not. I mean, especially by the end, Bran would be a prince because his sister is running Winterfell at that point, so she's the queen.
She's like the queen of the north.
Yeah, so Bran would be a prince or like a kick-ass duke.
I thought the show was going to end like this is my what I assumed. I thought it was going to end with all queens, like each of the 7 kingdoms, or is it 7?
Yes,
we're going to have a queen because, I thought Arya could take the north, Sansa could take the Vale because they're both from their mom's from the Vale or whatever, and then I thought. What's the lady from the Iron Isles could have the Iron Isles?
Yeah,
and then I don't know. At one point, I had it all figured out.
Greyjoy.
I was
What's
wrong.
her name?
I was
Greyjoy.
wrong. Obviously.
Yeah.
I thought that's what they were going for. I thought they were going to go woke Game of Thrones, and I was going to eat that up. And then I was like, okay, this isn't like the best ending. So this is me just ranting about the ending. But then when everybody laughed at Sam's saying what about a democracy? And they all laugh. I'm like, oh. These are all bad people. This sucks.
So those are some interesting questions for the Game of Thrones universe. I have a couple of interesting questions for the Disney cartoon universe. You guys want to hear those?
Yeah.
So I may have
Sure.
brought this one up a time or two, but this has always bothered me, and I want to hear everybody's opinions on it. If Mickey is a mouse and Donald is a duck, and Goofy is, and I know that there has been some internet discussion that he may be a cow, but it has been confirmed he is not. He is a dog breed, a humanoid dog breed. But if Mickey is a mouse and Donald's a duck and Goofy is a dog, then what the hell does it mean that Mickey has a pet dog for their society?
For Pluto.
And on top of that, Minnie has a cat named Figaro, and Pete is a cat. And Pete is also a thriving member of society with a house and a car and a job, and Minnie has a pet cat. So what the hell does that say about their society? Or what the hell is going on? What do you guys think?
Danny, if we share a similar ancestor with apes, what does it mean that some people have chimps and apes as pets? What does that mean about our society?
While there is probably a genetic link, and I don't mean probably, there definitely is. I'm just referring to the fact that every theory scientifically is only true until it is disproven.
Right.
And this one's very well proven, because a theorem and a proposed theory are two entirely different things. And if you get those two words confused, learn the English language. A scientific theory and your theory of if I wipe water on my forehead will I gain magic powers are entirely different. So while there is a genetic link between mammals like Homo erectus and the chimp mammalian society, the difference there is so huge compared to the difference between a dog and a dog that that comparison does not hold up.
Are you trying to tell me that there is that Pete and the cat Figaro are technically from the same thing? Are you trying to tell me this, Danny? Because it seems like it's a similar thing to us and chimps and everything, that there may have just been a similar ancestry and they diverged.
I think there's a darker explanation, and I'm willing to propose it, but I would like to hear everybody else's opinion first.
Chimerism?
Chimerism.
Yes.
Joey thinks
So,
they're chimeras, some sort of human, animal, magical creation,
Right.
or alchemical creation. And that that there's a race of sentient, erect animal creatures that are some side of a chimera that have survived Homo erectus's extinction and now exist as the ruling class, and a much closer genetic and evolutionary link is whereas it happened suddenly as opposed to over millions of years. I think that's a good proposed idea. I think.
I mean, like, also just the Full Metal Alchemist universe. There's that episode where Pluto says Edward and then calls him Big Brother Ed, and everybody realizes no. But there are in Full Metal Alchemist, there are like Nina and Alexander chimeras, and then there's like Zampano, I think is one of them. Who's like human and then can change into like a porcupine, or no, he's the other one.
Is this explaining anything, or are you just citing?
Well, I'm just saying
examples?
they could be chimeras.
Jen, what do you
And then
think?
Pluto is just that level of chimera, and Pluto and everybody else, or Mickey and everybody else, aren't.
Well, I was always confused why. I don't know. It's honestly, I never really considered it. Now I'm a little baffled now that you brought it up. I'm like, I wonder why that is. It would be like, a huge tiger walking on two legs, and he's got a little pet kitten. I'm like, okay.
Hey.
I don't know. That's weird.
I mean,
So my explanation falls somewhere along the lines of something that happened in real life. and also kind of falls in line with what Billy is saying in the comments. I'm not saying that it's racism or slavery. I think that these are the mentally challenged members of their society, be that nonverbal autism or Down syndrome, but people that do not fit a traditional mold of education or intelligence, and so have been subjected to being pets to the more affluent members of their species. And so much closer to whenever they used to lock people up with mental disabilities into insane asylums in
That's
the
dark.
Disney cartoon universe. I think they have just made them pets as a way of taking care of them and making them have a role in society. But I don't know that that's actually right. I've never heard a satisfying answer for this. I say satisfying answer. I've heard answers. I've never heard a satisfying answer for this.
I can't watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse the same anymore. It's ruined.
No
ruined.
I'll offer one that's like maybe less dark. It's and is correct. It's the clothing choices, and they're choosing to be this way because like Pluto has his collar, but everybody else has gloves and like clothing.
Oh, no. It's a kink thing.
Yeah, it doesn't have not for everyone. What? Not for everyone, but they choose
like
it.
the gimp out of the box.
They're world's furries.
It's like we're a bunch of perverts on
It's
here.
puppy play, pony play. I get it.
It's sexual.
I didn't make it sexual. I just said it's a choice. But it's because it doesn't have to be sexual for furries. You can just wear the suit and be happy.
Yeah, being a furry is not inherently sexual. That's true.
Like when Danny is in his scaly costume, that's not going to be sexual for everyone. But for if
that's just going to be funny.
That's Danny's choice. I do think
you're going to be like, did you have to make the tail so long? And I'd be like, oh damn, I have it on backwards. Hold on.
I do promote like just like boob window, just because like that's a cool look with like scales, I think. But no, like everybody chooses the clothing that they want to wear, and that determines their role. It's by choice. Pluto can put on the gloves if he wants and be a fully like
Pluto
have his own house.
To be BDSM. Oh my god, Kaylee.
It doesn't have to be BDSM either.
So
MasterCard and Visa are going to come for this podcast. We got to be careful.
Moving off of my cliffhanger / hanging plot hole, Joey, what did you have?
Going into the anime verse, you see things that just don't make sense or don't add up. And in one of my animes I really like, Assassination Classroom, there's a scene where at one point the alien teacher decides he's going to blow a giant chunk out of the moon. Now, in scientific terms, if you blow up the moon or do anything to the moon, you cause gravity issues, flooding issues, water issues, all kinds of tidal things. But they never even hint at this. There's no even the moon pops and then nothing happens. Everybody just keeps going on about their life like the moon really didn't matter. So it's just one of those loopholes that I'm just like, why?
But
and they do it in Dragon Ball too. They have to blow up the moon at one point to keep one of them from turning into the giant monkey. I think it's Goku, right? To turn into the giant monkey, and they just blow up the moon and go on about everything. It never changes anything with them. So,
and in Dragon Ball Z, that moon is currently inhabited by Rabbit something. I don't know what happened there. But I haven't seen Assassination Classroom, but yeah, blowing up even if it's just I think 70% of the moon is what it said. That'd be some damage that you'd notice.
Yes,
right.
What do you? Is he angry at the moon?
Our moon has a constant gravitational pull on the Earth. It affects the oceans, as well as humans and many other things in our world. And if something traumatic like that were to happen to the world, you would have mass floods, tsunamis. It would be an extinction level event. So yeah, the fact that they chose not to address it at all in Assassination Classroom is crazy. The only answer I could have to that is that in a world where someone has enough power to destroy 75% of the moon, they probably also have an equivalent amount of power to prevent the traumatic events that would happen afterwards.
Correct. Never.
Billy says there's
Never
a
comes out.
my short story about the moon blowing up into 7 separate pieces. It's called The Seven Eves. Eves.
Ben said Avatar explains what happens without the moon.
The ocean gets sad.
Yeah, but I hope you got Aang around to help out.
And then you have to give up your girlfriend. Or she chooses to give herself up.
That's rough,
She
buddy.
becomes the moon.
So she's not wearing gloves. She's just wearing a necklace. So
Anybody else have any dangling plot holes or cliffhangers they'd like to discuss? That's everybody? All right, Jen,
That's it.
take us out.
We've tied up in loose ends.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for showing up tonight. I greatly appreciate everybody in the chat. My Game of Thrones rant. Thank you. That I always have to get that off my chest. But anyhow, your turn, Danny.
Joey, what do you got?
Thank you for coming and watching the show. We appreciate all of you being here, and it's fun.
Randy?
I guess my only dangling plot thread, talking about Jen ranting, is ice cream trucks. Where do they go? Sorry, you mentioned a rant, and that's what made me think of it. But no, thanks for watching, every guys.
My ice cream.
Putting me up with the things, the loose threads that we deal with is Game of Thrones, what happened to the Doom of Valyria, and where are them ice cream trucks, and why do they cost so much?
There's 2 of them that come around my neighborhood.
2 of them.
Yeah, 2 different ones.
Uh-oh.
Landon, you want to say anything nice to the folks?
Nothing more other than thank you all for coming out. You all are the part that makes this show a show. Speaking of, I have some news. Tomorrow, or possibly later tonight, we will be dropping another episode of Date Night at Power Noodles. Yes, I finally got around to editing this one, and it would have gotten it done sooner if I was better at my job.
But there's no one better than you, Landon.
Thank you. But stay posted for that. And yeah, just like always, thanks for coming around, chatting with us. You all are the part that makes this a show. Without you, we're just talking to the walls.
Yeah, I want to tack on to Randy's ice cream thing. Convince your children that the ice cream truck only plays music whenever it's out of ice cream, and you'll save a lot of money. That's what I did to my children, and they will tell you about it. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Thanks for being in the comments. Thanks for pitching in. Thanks for sharing your own plot holes and cliffhangers that you are stuck with. We are always more than happy to discuss that. Furries, scale sonas, BDSM, the subjugation of the mentally challenged within the Disney universe, and all sorts of other crazy things. Next week, we will be back with the hit list. As a matter of fact, I need to pick what the topic of that is. Hold on. I have a list. So we are going to do our 5 favorite.
Billy says, Landon, you're being too defensive. I didn't even bring it up.
You can't punch me in the face if I punch myself in the face first. That's how it works, right?
That's how I go. That's the rules I live by.
Let's see. Do you guys want to do our 5 favorite animals or our 5 favorite DC heroes?
Combine them. 5 favorite DC animal heroes.
I mean, you could get plenty of lists with DC animal heroes, not going to lie.
Right.
I call Beppo the super monkey.
I call the Rage Cat.
I call Detective Chimp.
Rage Cat.
No, but anyway, okay. Sounds like we're going to do our 5 favorite DC heroes for the hit list next week. Anyway, that does it for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. You know what? You've been great, and we've been Cutting Edge Heroes.
See y'all.